to Dicebreaker, where today we're doing something pretty fun. I mean, I say that every time. But
it's always fun.
We're always doing fun stuff, you guys. But yeah, today we're going to be telling you DMs out there, you GMs, how to make a great... We love you. We love you. Oh, I thought you said we love you.
We do also love you.
Yeah,
so
yeah, we do.
You make the games happen, so thank you.
Honestly, yeah. Shout out to GMs for doing what you do.
Pat yourself on the back.
Pat, pat.
Appreciate.
Yeah, exactly. Send this to another GM who might be struggling.
Yes.
GMs helping GMs.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is how you make a great NPC.
Yes.
Now, my dear friend Maddie, hi. What qualifies us to tell people how to make a great NPC?
We've been running games. We've done D&D. We've done other things.
Yeah.
Things like, I've done Call of Cthulhu.
Yeah. Nice.
Some superhero stuff. We've done some masterminds.
Masterminds.
What else? Yeah.
I've done some stuff other than D&D, I swear. I've done... what's the one? Monster Hearts 2.
Yes.
You can see that on the channel where I DM'd a one-shot that is... Monster Hearts 2 specifically is all about the other people, the other classmates, and making them good for your characters to interact with. And, you know, I think if you take a look at it, you should see a card popping up right now as linked to the Let's Play. You know, you can see that that's something that we really enjoy. We love our NPCs here in Dicebreaker.
I mean, they populate the world. You can't have a game without other people for your players to interact with. It's an essential skill, and it also is quite hard to do sometimes, which is why we thought we'd have a little chat about how to make it easier for you.
Exactly, and you can't just look. Here's the thing: if you don't have any like powerful NPCs in the world, then your players are just going to run amok.
Yes.
You need consequences.
Keep them in check.
Keep them in line, GMs. Gosh, and we're going to show you how to make some NPCs that should be good at that. So, to start with, let's jump straight into it. I guess the first thing you have to do, as with many other planning sessions, is just be prepared.
It pays to be prepared.
It does pay to be prepared. So what we've got here is, the first point we have is have a supply of NPCs ready who can be used in various situations. Your players will want to talk to a random shopkeep, and they will. Won't they be surprised if you whip out a fully developed character? So that's something that's happened to me so many times.
I mean, that's the whole point of tabletop games. It's all just improv. You don't know what's going to happen. So it's important to kind of like not be stressed when they're like, I want to go over here in this place you haven't planned, and you're like, okay.
Oh, all right, yeah. And
that's cool.
I think that's what I struggled with before I like took the plunge and started GMing, because I was like, well, how am I supposed to account for every single thing that my player's gonna do? I can't do that.
You can't.
You simply can't. So if you're like, how do I do that? Well, we'll tell you what the secret is. It's just you create a bunch of random NPCs in random locations, or you straight up improvise, which is hard. You can do it if you want to. Yeah. But, you know.
Because like, even if you have like a list to call from, even if you don't remember off the top of your head exactly, if you've already prepared a list, like, oh, I've got this gold tiefling and this like red dragonborn like man who's old or something, then you can just like be like, oh, okay, I kind of remember something. It just gives you something to just draw on quickly, or you know, or you can just look it up in your book, have it ready there,
filed away. You have an NPC ready who is not just like the thing that I do all the time, and I'm just like, this is an old human man.
You can't go wrong.
No. This one time I tried to make my NPC slightly different. I tried to make them like, off the top of my head, I was like, a creepy old man is running this shop, and then they were like, cool, we kill him. I was like, why? Why? There's no need for that.
Wow.
So you can you can make
players. Am I right?
Oh, these bloody players. So you can, as Mandy was saying, you can have a list of like NPC, even if it's just a name. Like, just have something at the ready for you to just quickly go, okay, they're going to go here. This character is who I'm pulling out.
100%. Like, our next point is literally just have, like, a list of names. It's so helpful, because you never know, like, if they're in a crowd and they're like, oh, I look around, like, who's here? Then you can, like, describe some people. If they go up and try to speak to someone, then you can just instantly look at a name, because I find names the hardest.
Yeah, names are rough, because I've got listed here, you can, sometimes you end up making a wizard called Steve. Or like a great knight named Beth, because you just can't,
No, I'm even worse than that. I'm like, oh, their name is Light Switcherous.
Ooh.
Like, just...
I mean, you say that's worse. I quite enjoy that. I like that a lot.
We've had a lot of those.
Light Switcherous. Yes, Key Light.
We had a guy called Lieutenant Broomhilt, which it took us ages to realize, which is just like broom handle.
Oh yeah, no, that was immediate for me. I was like, oh yeah, broom handle.
That's easily done.
I mean, look, if you want to like have a supply of names that are like Broomhilt and like switcherous, then fine, do that.
Yeah, but just have something prepared, because there's nothing worse than your players like, oh, what's your name? And you're like, because that's something they would obviously know just straight off the top of their head. Whereas you can be like, their name is, checks and notes, light switcherous.
Exactly.
There we go.
Exactly. And then even if you don't have a plan for that NPC at the moment, like as things develop and as you're, hopefully there will be a session in between the time you have to come up with something exciting for them.
Yeah.
So you can just be like, okay, I've got this gold tiefling, I think you mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
And the gold tiefling, it sounds really good actually. I think you said gold dragonborn, but gold tiefling. So you can just go away and like devise a really cool backstory for them that you didn't have in mind before, but then like you just take this character that you hadn't planned, and that happens organically.
Yeah.
Which is really good.
A backstory is just really nice to have, because you want to flesh your world out. It doesn't want to feel like that everybody's kind of cardboard. It's like, or like an NPC in a video game where they've got like 3 voice lines and like their whole personality is tavern keeper. Like it's so fun to have a backstory, because like players want to interact with your world. That is what's fun about playing D&D and these other tabletop games is interacting with everything and learning about it. So
absolutely. Like it's funny you mentioned like NPCs in video games. The amount of times I've given them full personalities myself.
Yeah,
because I want something more than just like good day.
You are having an affair with this person's wife. Like I just know it.
We see it in you. We see you.
I see the twinkle in your eye.
Oh yeah. Oh, you've got a secret. Shush. Yeah, this shows a lot. This is why we stick to board games.
We want to roleplay everything.
We really do. It's a problem. So basically, like after you've gone away and you've had time with this NPC, or if you decide you want to start off with a fully developed NPC, give them a full backstory as if they're a character that you're making, like a playable character you're making, because like. You don't want them to just be one-dimensional, as we've said. They need. It's difficult to explain, but like, for me, I don't find like I can fully role-play an NPC unless I've gotten.
Yeah, unless you know who they are.
Yeah.
Like, how would they react to this? Why would they like react to this? What are their goals and their dreams? Like,
exactly.
What do they want to achieve in life?
Yeah, like, because like even like if you work with alignments. I don't really no, but like if that's something that you're
like morals and stuff, like people's vibes.
Yeah, if you've got vibes going on for your NPCs, like certain ways they'll react will be informed by like their alignment and and just like what their goals are, as you've said.
Yeah. Especially like if they're part of a quest, like you want them to be more fleshed out than like if they're a tavern keeper, it's probably they're just going to give some drinks. No one's going to ask much more. But yeah, if they're like giving a quest or part of a quest, or people keep coming back to see them, like. Yeah, give them a backstory. Let them like change and grow with the characters. It's also great if you have a lot of characters that you don't get to play because you're the DM. Just make them NPCs. Like I've done this so many times. Is I'm like I play like characters I've played and like ones I want to play. I just put them in.
I do this all the time. So me and my partner, like we'll do. I think we've discussed that you also do this with your partner. Do one-on-one sessions of like D&D or whatever RPG you're playing, and like I'll be DMing, but I'm also like, oh yes, here's my stupid bard from the other game that we're playing together. Like, oh, she's here. So you have a party because I'm just popping one in. There you are. Enjoy. They're just hanging out and like.
Because you already know them really well.
Exactly.
Because you really thought about them, just use them.
Yeah. And like, especially if you're like, oh yeah, I never get to play this character.
Yeah.
Like, put them in because it's going to make you enjoy the session more if you get to play them, the character that you really like. The
fun thing about being a DM is you actually get to play loads of characters.
Yeah.
And to make it fun, flesh them out and you will have a really good time.
Yeah.
You don't have to commit. No commitment. You play as many as you like.
So if you've seen other Let's Plays on the channel, you know that my DM style leans into the comedy aspect of things quite a lot. And it's something that helps if I want to make things more serious, or if I want to lean into the comedy, whatever mood you're going for, make a PC, or an NPC in this case, but take a PC for something else that you know you can play to that effect. So if you have a character that you know is fun and loves a bit of jolly japes. God, I felt like I just had like massive Alex Mean energy just
yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Jolly japes.
Jolly japes. Yeah, you can pop them in, and if there's a character that you know is just like really good at like being serious and blah blah blah, you know, just pop them in. It's going to be helpful.
Just go for them.
Yeah. I think another point that you might have made here, Maddie, is
yes.
let them have magic, gosh darn it.
Yes. I was thinking about this as I was falling asleep last night, because I was thinking about why don't I do more NPCs that are using disguise self?
Yeah.
So I'm like, what a little trick, how that can get a player. But then also I was thinking anything, like minor illusion or prestidigitation, like unless your world is kind of like a low magic setting.
Yeah, which
like,
is fair.
But people would have magic. People would be using it and doing it all of the time. Like, I would.
Oh, yeah,
so,
absolutely.
And that's fun for you as a DM because, you know, you get to use those kind of like fun utility spells and stuff. You're not just doing stuff in combat. Then you can, you know, and if you use a disguise self, that's instantly kind of like a quest setup. That's like a mystery. There's questions there.
Yeah. I think an example of magic being used that I can recall, spoilers for The Curse of Strahd, I suppose.
It's been out a while.
It's been out for a while. You know, go read it if you'd like, but also, you know, like the videos and subscribe if you'd like. Please. So when you're playing Strahd, there is an entirely different persona that Strahd has.
Oh.
That is just like a Savandabot. I don't know what his actual name is. Strahd's persona. No. Strahd's persona. No, whatever. But yeah, there's a whole other person. Vasily von Holtz.
Vasily von Holtz.
It's what I'm seeing here. That will just like can interact with the characters, and it's just because Strahd has like cast disguise self on himself, or maybe it's alter self. And he's just got a whole other a whole other side to him that is really fun to play, and then you get to be like, haha, surprise!
Just me, your love.
And they'll be
Great
like,
reveal. What a twist.
Exactly.
I'd love that as a player.
Me too. I have only DM'd Curse of Strahd. But even if I were to play it, I'd be like, what?
This whole time?
I can't believe it. I've not run this game before. But yeah, like having characters use magic, having NPCs use magic.
You could base a whole NPC around one spell. Be like, this is the spell they know. Why would they know it? How are they going to use it? What would they do with it? Like, you don't have to give them like, oh, they have this spell, this spell, this spell, this spell. They're at this level. Like, just give them one for random. Like, you don't have to justify why they have it.
You don't.
They've
it's your world.
It. Yeah.
You can do
Players probably aren't going to be like, so what level are they? Like, why do they know disguise self? Like, what is that? They're just going to be like, whoa. What?
Because take 6 points of psychic damage. That's why. Oh dear. Are we bad DMs? No. Okay.
No,
not at all.
Fair DMs.
Yeah. Now I'm also just imagining like, what if there's like a kid who has like learned minor illusion or something and is plaguing the town, and it's just like, who taught this kid minor illusion?
Yeah, right. And there's like a whole quest. You like some random wizard who lives in the woods, who got turned into a bear, and now they're just going around teaching kids magic.
Yeah.
Because why not?
Why not? I'm intrigued by the bear aspect of this.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
Because like then they can't interact with regular human society because everyone's scared of them because they're a bear. But then they're a friendly bear and kids trust them.
Yeah.
Whereas like an adult would be like, no, bear, evil. Kids are like, friendly bear.
Friendly bear?
Pet?
Winnie the Pooh?
Little boy that I can pet.
Oh, that sounds like just something that I think, not like a little child.
Same.
Yeah. Oh, a friend?
Why have they got ears like that if I'm not meant to be friends with them?
Exactly. They're so cuddly, and like this is why we wouldn't last in the wilderness.
No.
So the next section we have,
yes, is a very good one.
Yeah, it's a very good one. If you're like us in any way, shape, or form, you should keep it simple.
Yes.
Because the amount of times
don't make them a bear.
No, don't make them a bear. Unless you really, really want to, then we're not going to stop you. But don't make them a bear. They're already wizards. Why are they there, Maddie?
Keep it simple. Don't overcomplicate stuff.
Yeah. The amount of times I've set up a world, and I think I was guilty of this when I was first starting out as a GM.
Yeah.
I was trying to overcomplicate everything because I was like, I've seen so many like Let's Plays and played in so many people's campaigns where things are just like, they seem really flawless.
Yeah, like everything is like thought out. Everything is like got a story and connection and everything.
And you're like, whoa, I want to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but honestly, now I realize, having done this a few times, that those things have kind of been thought up as they go along.
Yeah.
They have kind of fit in nicely, and like half of it is probably like the PCs interacting with the GM, and
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and like it comes about organically. So
Yeah.
don't put too much stress on yourself when you're making an NPC. Like, don't worry too much about giving them a complex voice or accent.
Like, not everyone needs to have a distinct accent, because
No.
like realistically, I know I can do about 3 accents.
Yeah, same.
So every character is going to sound like one of those 3 accents,
Yeah.
and that's fine.
Yeah.
Like, that's like, just do your voice like half the time.
Exactly.
It's all good.
Like, will you bump into this noble who has this accent that I can do, which is
Yes.
a slightly exaggerated version of my own? Or will you bump into, howdy, I'm a Southern Belle.
I want to meet that.
yeah, you're Mia, don't worry, you're Mia. Or will you bump into, hi, I'm General American, which didn't sound like anything.
Hello, I am General American.
Hello, God bless America, is what, those are the 3 people you will bump into, and you'll have
That's
to
all
deal
you
with
need.
it. Yeah.
You can just like pitch up, pitch down, like it
Yeah.
doesn't, and I mean, and realistically players aren't going to notice and be like, they sounded like the last person.
Yeah.
Like, just, they're just there for a fun time.
Yeah, they are. And if anything, it's just going to be funny to them, because like anything the GM does is really funny to me.
Yes, you're there to be a clown, remember that.
You are a clown.
You are a
GMs.
court jester.
Our next tip is be a clown.
Be a fool. Embrace the fool.
But like, I mean, honestly, that is a good point.
Yeah.
I don't think we've written that down, but embrace the fun of it.
Yeah.
Like-
yeah, that's what keeping it simple is. Like, just, I think I've really come to realize, especially like having played a lot and then DMing like more and more as the years go on, just being like, people just want to have fun. Like, no one really cares if it's like the most perfect story or anything, or like, I know I don't. I just there to have fun with my friends.
Exactly.
So.
Like, especially with like, the way things have been over the last few years, like getting together and just having a nice chat and a fun time with your friends. It means a lot.
Yeah.
So, keep that in mind. Also, in terms of the accent and characterization, voice and stuff thing, if you put too much pressure on that, then the actual characterization of the NPC is going to, be lost.
Yes.
a
Oh,
little
yeah.
bit.
And also, if you try and do a different voice, which I did the other night, I gave the little fairy dragons, so Talavar and Wild Beyond the Witchlight, a voice my players loved.
Yeah.
It was very hard for me to do.
Can you give us a sample of it now?
Oh, what was it? I can't remember now.
I feel like...
Hello there, you down there, please, why don't you help me? I need you to come open my cage.
It's me, Borat.
And my players wouldn't stop talking to him. My throat really hurt, and I was like, "Stop asking him questions. Just get his key and leave."
Let him out. Oh no, he lost his voice when he stepped out of the cage.
Now. Yeah.
Oh wow, so weird.
He's tired of talking to you now. He doesn't like you guys anymore.
He's tired of talking to you because I'm tired of talking to you. Thank you. Okay. But yeah, no, that's like if you have fun with the voice, run with it.
Yeah.
If you don't.
Because to do it occasionally, it is really fun to like mix it up. Because
Yeah.
people are like, "Who is this?"
Yeah. Ooh.
I've never heard him before.
If you know this character's going to enter and then never be seen again, give him a funny voice.
Yes.
But
Which
if
is the point
not,
we have
no.
later on is like about making them distinctive.
Yeah.
Again, you saying like you're making everybody an old man. If you can just think of like a couple of things to make people distinctive, like a few different hair colors, like maybe they have like a cool pet, like maybe someone has a fairy dragon with them or something, like just something
exactly.
distinctive that will make them memorable to not just your players but to you, because I know
They
I
have to
forget
stand out.
NPCs as soon as the session is over and they're like, let's go talk to that person again. And I'm like, who?
Oh, who do you mean?
I've never heard that name before in my life.
Ah, yes, Jeffrey Jenkins.
Yes.
Jenkins, yes. Totally knew that.
But it's just like the tiniest details can make them distinctive, just, as we say, like a gold tiefling, a red dragonborn, a woman with short cropped hair, a man with long golden hair. Like
Yeah.
you can just
Chat it up.
instantly, they're all very different, but just try and think of a few like little things.
Yeah. I think, did you mention yesterday, I don't even think this is in the doc, but you were like, give him a dog.
Oh, okay, this was like a tangent point about getting your players to like your NPCs, because again, in running Witchlight, some of my players really hated an NPC that they weren't meant to. I just introduced him and they were like, I don't like him. And I was like, why?
Who is it?
The monkey that runs the like music
Oh,
stand,
really?
they hated him.
Oh, wow, we loved him.
Yeah, yeah, then I had to make him bad because like one of them worked at the carnival and was like, I don't like him. And I was like, oh, okay, I guess he's not very nice then.
Oh.
But I was like, if I gave him a golden retriever, then they would have liked him.
Yeah.
And I was just thinking, if you give your NPC a golden retriever, they're always going to like it.
Yeah.
Just as a little hot tip for you. Bonus tip! Oh!
Wow. See, buy one, get one free here at Dicebreaker. I don't know, whatever. But yeah, something as well, if you want your characters to actually like an NPC, you just have to emotionally blackmail them by making...
Yes.
By making them a sibling of one of the characters, or a partner, or a friend of one of the characters. Well, I don't actually emotionally blackmail your PCs, but...
But that is a really good point, as we were talking about yesterday, about connecting them to your NPCs is a great way for them to feel meaningful, and for the players to feel connected to the world, and for the NPCs to feel real, and just all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, exactly. It's something that we have listed later on, but I will mention now, is that this is one of the only times that you're going to be able to like collaborate on something with your players.
Yeah.
Like apart from their actual character, but at the end of the day, that's in their core.
Yeah.
If you collaborate on like an NPC with your DM, then that's gonna make things so much richer.
Yeah. And you can get them to do the work.
Yeah.
Like I think again one of the points later is I think it's in the Explorer's Guide to Wild Handbook. It's talking about let them start with like rivals and like people they're like aligned with, and get them to tell you who it is. Be like, okay, tell me who your rival is.
Yeah.
That's a ready-made NPC for you.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, like if your character's like, I want to come from a small town like in the mountains, and you don't have that, be like, okay, you tell me what the town is like.
Yeah.
You tell me like who your family is, some like main NPCs that you know, because when they go there, they'll already have built that relationship themselves, rather than you being like, oh, this is the blacksmith you know.
Yeah.
Let them tell you who that person is. Like,
yeah. Like
easy.
Another example of that is like a very specific. So in Icewind Dale, your players can start off with a secret.
Ooh, yes.
Yeah, it was like, I love this. I adored it. Probably because of the secret I chose. I was a player, and my secret was that I get to choose any NPC, and they're my old flame, and I used to date them before. So basically, in the first few sessions, I was just kind of like, who's it going to be? And then obviously, I chose Avarice stands out there. Understand? I chose Avarice, the white tiefling lady, who is so evil.
My character was obsessed with her.
Yeah.
Okay, being like, let's message her. Let's just cast sending and see what she's up to.
Literally same.
She's hot. It's not our fault.
Yeah, exactly. Did you have somebody in the party who actually could you send?
Yeah, we sent sending to her all the time.
That's good.
And then we were like giving stuff away by accident because she would like goad us into telling secrets. And we'd be like, we're so much better than you. And she'd be like, oh really? Where are you? And we'd be like, we're here. And she's like, okay. And we're like, wait, no, Everest.
No, please, don't use that against us.
Unless you want to come hang out.
God. Like, at least you had somebody in the party who could use sending. I had to go to a librarian. And
hey,
be like,
can I call my girl?
I'd be like, hi, I just wanted to send a message. And then it's just like, oh, what do you want to say? I'm like, hi, I miss you. Can you like...
I miss you. Please call me. That's horrible. I just send it through someone. Imagine being that librarian.
I'm like, okay, got it. And can you go back over there? Just like, oh yeah, last night was great. No, sorry, I can't send this. I can't.
I'm just gonna cut this last sentence out. This feels private.
It's like, send what I told you.
I'm paying you.
Please.
Send this. Word for word.
Verbatim. Send it, please. But yeah, just like the fact that I was able to like go in and tie this character, this NPC, to me like a little bit more. Which made it like fun for the others as well, because they got to just hate on her so much. They were just like, oh, your girlfriend sucks. And I was like, she's not my girlfriend, actually.
That also like gives, just again, opens up loads of questions, like being like, okay, like what was your relationship? Why did you break up? Like what's going on now? Like could you rekindle something?
Exactly. And the answer was no, because she was...
She's on her own little evil goals.
Yeah, Avarice has got some stuff going on, so yeah, it was
some issues.
Yeah, got a lot going on.
But then again, like you've just done that as the player, as like the DM. They didn't have to create anything for you. You're coming in and being like, I'm gonna develop this whole relationship. So you've connected yourself. So get your players to do it for you. You don't have to be like, they have this relationship, they have this relationship. Get the players to tell you what relationships they have or want to have.
Exactly, yeah. No, sounds good to me. Yeah, and like, so also we've got written here in keeping it simple, it's okay to base an NPC that's just like literally a trope.
Yeah.
So like, it doesn't, like, where, as we've said, you know, fully flesh out an NPC, that's great for like an NPC that's like tied intrinsically to the story.
That it's going to be meaningful, that you're going to keep hanging out with.
Yeah, exactly. But also, if you're just trying to get something, like if you're just
you just need somebody to work in the general store.
Yeah, then all you have to do is just like make them a trope.
Yeah.
So
trope, base them on a character from like media that you know of.
That's
be
good.
like, yeah, like it's so. Just be like, okay, this person is Gaston from Beauty and the Beast.
That's a great one. And then you're like, this person is Beast from Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah.
This person is Belle from Beauty and the Beast.
And then that's like, you instantly are like, okay, I know what their personality is. I know who they are. You don't have to come up with anything. You kind of know how Gaston from Beauty and the Beast would react to stuff.
Yeah.
Like, and just
actually, I think I know an actual play series that did that, and he became like an actual PC because they loved him so much.
I was going to say, I would keep hanging out with him.
They literally called him Baston. It's called Dragon Friends for anyone who's like, I gotta get this in my life. They made an NPC called Baston, and then they were like, cool, he's a main part of the team now after series 2.
But again, this is it. Like, I think we mentioned, like, if they really like an NPC, you can develop that after the fact. Like, if they're like latch onto somebody, then you're like, okay, like I'll just flesh them out a little bit more and like add a little bit more and more as it kind of comes up and stuff.
Exactly. So just like, have fun with it and then build on it if you'd like. So we've talked about this a little bit beforehand, but let's fully dive into it. And it's collaboration.
Collaborate.
So we've already spoken about how if there's a connection between a PC and NPC, get them to do the work for you because like the thing is that if they're anything like me, they want to do that work because they want to know that you're going to be playing this NPC like.
If you're playing a tabletop game, you want to tell a story, you want to role play, you want to do all of this stuff. So players are going to be like desperate to be like, yes, I'll come up with NPCs, like I'll do more because like they don't have like much homework to do outside of a game. Like so, give them a bit of homework.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like one of my favorite characters, who I mention like in every RPG video we talk about, but my annoying bard Delta, like. Her whole thing is that she was a noble who like ran away from her family.
Nice.
Because she was like, too much pressure. Also, my brother died. And then so like being able, even like her brother died, but I even was like, this is what her brother was like. This is how like he affected her, and like this and that and the other. But then you have like the rest of her family, like her disapproving mother. You have her kid, like her younger sister, who had to take on the responsibilities that she shrugged off. So basically, like her younger sister and her younger brother, basically between them had to take on the role that she would have had. So her younger brother is there taking over the family business and running everything and stuff. Oh, no. And her sister is now betrothed to the person that she ran away from, and is like, cool, I'm pregnant now, and she's like, oh no, I'm so sorry, so it's like, that's a lot to take in. Thank you, my GM, who is the devil incarnate.
That's great.
Yeah, and like, it was such a fun process, like, working on that with my GM, Bo, because we were, like, talking about it, and I was like, I wonder what her sister's up to. Oh no, I know what's going on now. It was terrible, but it was also delightful.
Yes.
Like work on that stuff with your players because they love it. I love it.
They love it. Yeah, because it's just especially like it just makes them so invested. Like especially before the first session, like they have all these things connected to this world already. Like they're already going to be so like excited to play it and stuff. Like it's just it's a great thing.
Exactly. So also, I've just remembered in the same campaign, another way an NPC came about was so stupid. So basically, I had Delta once again. She was going into a pub, and she was all dressed up for some reason. I think she was trying to do some espionage or whatever.
Nice.
And like my GM was like, okay, roll a D100 for me. And one of the other players was like, if you roll a 69, it's your ex in there. And what did I roll? Obviously, out of 1 in 100 chance, that's what I rolled. So another bard who was my character's ex, called Discography, was in there, and then now we have a whole NPC who is just, her whole thing is being really mad at Delta and then trying to work through it because they don't know what they are or what they aren't, and it's really off.
I love that.
Yeah, so...
Oh, this is it. Those relationships are so fun. Like,
they are.
They're just great.
They are great. So collaboration is fantastic. So also something really important to remember, which honestly we should have said up top, but but we'll say it now. Is make sure to refer to your players' lines and veils when you're making an NPC, because you might think of something that you think is like funny, because we've all done it. We've like been like, oh, this is perfectly innocent, but then like it really
someone has like real life experience with something, or like a bad experience. Like don't just be careful not to tread on those lines. But it's easy. We always use the X card thing, so if something does come up, people can just hold up their X card, or we do like a little like. Yeah, we go like that. It's very you go like that, but we were like boom. No, stop this. But it's important to kind of refer to that when you're making characters, because like it's really important, and like if you're going, like you should always have lines and veils and the X card and tools in place. Especially like if you're playing with people that you're not like really close friends with, that you don't know as well, because I found a couple of groups online, so you don't know what people have been through, what they're going through. So it's kind of like this is the kind of stuff obviously you need to get out in like a session 0 or something, and you can kind of go through and like be like DM me if there's anything you don't want to have in it, or like talk about it in the group, and just we won't do any NPCs that like we've had it with some people where they have like a family relationship, and it's like, oh, I don't want like a tough relationship with like my father or something, like even if we don't talk much, like I don't want to like play through it or anything like that. Totally. Just little things like that.
You never you cannot anticipate everyone's needs. They have to be able to tell you and come to you with these 100%, things. So make your players feel heard. Always a good thing. And finally, if all else fails, improvise.
We've all done it. We're all gonna have to do it again.
You know it. Come on,
you gotta improvise. Sometimes you just
like I know everything beforehand has been like prepare yourself.
And which is what's great if you can, but this is it. Is like sometimes you can't, and that's okay, and you're still fine.
Exactly. Like there's also a Let's Play on the channel where recently we did the opening chapter of Call of the Netherdeep, Matt Nurse's new source adventure book. From Wizards of the Coast. You should see a card. You can link into that if you want to watch it, but we will warn you right now, it's more of a fun, like, loosey-goosey take on the chapter.
It's very chaotic, but it's very fun. It's just quite like an open kind of first chapter. You kind of have a lot of flexibility and like playing around with some games and stuff. It encourages having fun and being a little chaotic.
Exactly. Like the whole setup of actually that's a really good example of NPCs, because like what's really nice is that this book gives you like a whole rival party for your characters to interact with.
I loved having a rival.
We love a rival here on Dicebreaker. If you check out our podcast on Friday, from the previous Friday, me and Alex we're talking about how we're each other's rivals, apparently.
Which is great, and I love it watching it play out. It's very, very fun.
How will that manifest? Find out by watching. So the whole, one of the premises of Call of the Netherdeep is that you have a rival party, which is something I've honestly tried to do before. But I didn't pull it off as well because
it's quite hard when you're going to have like a full set of like people that are like full established classes, and they're all different personalities. Like it's quite a lot to run. You're running a whole party by yourself. Like that is a lot to take on.
It is a lot. Like honestly, one of the best things about actually, this might be a pretty good point. It's that if you're going to like run a big group of people, maybe don't have them in the same place at the same time initially. Just kind of space them out a little bit. Like in the Call of the Netherdeep introduction, there's I mean, spoilers for it, but go watch it if you're curious about it. The rivals are in different parts of the starting location, Jigao, and your party have to go around and meet them individually until right at the end. That's when they come together. So it's a really nice way of introducing the NPCs and giving them personalities to stand out. But yeah, so if you haven't got the time to develop a whole party of characters, just improvise. Just always improvise, because you know that, like, no matter what you do, like, if you put the ones you put a lot of effort into, your characters might not care about.
Oh, it's always the way.
Yeah, like, but if you were to do one that's completely improvised, you know they're going to be fan favorites.
Love it.
Yeah.
And as well, like with improvising, you know, like you're in control of the game. Like you can take breaks anytime. If people are suddenly like, we want to find a local town and you haven't prepared one, be like, okay, cool, yeah, you guys are heading there. Let's just take a quick 5-minute break and let people go off and like get some drinks and stuff, and you can just quickly like, refer to your random NPC table and be like, okay, shopkeeper, tavern keeper, blacksmith, and like, yeah, you got it. You're like,
that has also reminded me that if you don't want to like go to the trouble of like like making concrete NPCs, we love a table.
Oh,
we do love a table.
I love a random table.
If you have like a D20 by D20 table that you can just roll on, like, okay, I rolled an 8, they're a tiefling. I rolled a 19, they are this class or something.
Yeah.
There aren't 19 classes, but you know what I mean. Like that is also a fun way to just kind of like randomize things, keep things fresh.
Yeah. And you can easily draw on. You know, you could even do that before every session, being like, okay, let's make a new table of random NPCs. Let's just roll a few things and be like, cool, I got 10 random NPCs that could come up whenever, you know, because, you know, you're going to get through them.
Exactly. Or if you want to involve your players even more, have them roll for it, because then they have to take on the responsibility of it.
As a player, because sometimes having that behind the scenes stuff is fun. Like if my DM is like, okay, yeah, like we're going to the shop. All right, roll a die. And I'm like, ooh, what is it going to be?
What?
Oh, I'm deciding with the dice.
Oh my god,
it's kind of fun.
Technically, I'm the GM.
Yes, I'm in control.
It's a fun way to like have your PCs involved. But yeah, like, and also don't be afraid of looking silly. Like I say this like a lot in like every like advice video we put out, but just have fun with it. Don't be afraid of looking silly. Like, if you're having fun and your players are having fun, then ultimately that's all you can ask.
It's a game.
It's a game.
So remember, like you're not on stage. You're not having to put a show on. You're not going to have to like tell like the most amazing story ever. Like, it's a collaborative game where everyone's just there to have fun, and we're all aware of the fact that we're playing a game and we're going to work together to make a game fun. So, you know, like we often have it if if a DM's like, oh, I just need to check something, we'll just all talk amongst ourselves as our players. I'll be like,
yeah, absolutely.
What's everyone's favorite color or something? And then like, I'll just spark like 20 minutes of conversation while the DM is like prepping something, you know, like.
Yeah. Like, I do that as well because, I mean, obviously we've been players, we've been GMs, so you know.
You understand.
Yeah, you're like, oh, it sounds like they're struggling. Okay, well, hello everyone, it's me, blah, blah, blah. You know, just coming in. Yeah,
I love to take the floor and make a scene. My time has come.
The Dicebreaker video team making a scene. That's
new.
Wild.
Yeah, because I've made it pretty clear to my players, I'm like, if I'm taking a moment to do something, like, feel free to, like, just do something else while I'm doing it. Like, again, with Witchlight, because I'm running a pre-written adventure, it's harder to improvise because there are certain things that, like, are fact or not. And so I occasionally have to be like, okay, I do need to check this. So then they'll just be like, okay, we're just going to, like, hang out and chat and do something silly.
And there's, like, there are bits as well, I think, in which, like, where there are just, like, stands where you can go get food.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like, which is just like, oh, I go get a pizza. Cool, it's a pizza.
Yeah, it's like, I could be like, okay, go to the food stall, tell me what you get, and just, like, describe it. Like, because you're in the Feywild, you can, well, you know, you're in a Feywild-adjacent carnival. You can just get whatever. Like, they're going to have everything. Yeah. They got your pizza. Yeah. They got your cupcakes. Everything. Whatever you could possibly want.
They got your strudel.
They got your strudel.
They got your strudel.
They got your pie.
I don't think I've ever said the word strudel before.
It's a good word.
Thank you. But yeah, so that is pretty much everything. Have we got anything else to add, Maddie?
No, I think that is...
To the Great NPC.
Is mainly it, you know.
Yeah. But if you enjoyed our advice on how to make a great NPC, or if you have advice as well, please, for the love of God, pop it in the
share
comments. Let people know, because, you know, like, you're going to be helping someone out. And it means a lot to people.
We've all been on the different, you know, like, journeys becoming a DM. And, like, if it's, like, your first session and stuff, it's really, NPCs are really nerve-wracking. Like, just let's all help each other out.
Yeah, let's help out
Be
a friend.
friends.
Pay it forward. Make friends in the comments. No, but yeah, thank you so much for watching our How to Make a Great NPC video. We really appreciate it. If you found anything in this video at all interesting or helpful, then think about subscribing and liking the video. It really helps us out a lot, and like, it doesn't take too much. You know, like, it's pretty chill to do. Boop,
no, it's pretty easy. It's right there. One button.
Right there. One button. If you want to take it to the next level,
another button.
If you want to click the next button, I mean, we're not asking. Look, it's a lot, but if you want to, you can click the join button down below.
Yeah.
Which will allow you to join Dicebreaker Plus, which is our Dicebreaker membership videos program, where you can see us in all our glory, just like making videos that aren't super tabletop related, but are very, very fun.
There's a lot of really fun things.
Like, you can see us playing video games, if you're into that.
Video games, watching movies.
Watch-alongs.
Talking about things just we love.
Yeah.
Musicals.
I enjoy. We spoke about, like, graphic novel recommendations and stuff like that.
There's all sorts.
There are so many things, gang. As well as that, if you want to read, if you prefer reading things, which, you know, don't get it, but fine.
Do.
You can head on over to dicebreaker.com, where there are a bunch of tabletop-related articles written by our wonderful editorial team and wonderful collaborators as well, who have joined Dicebreaker to give you all the latest news and information.
Yeah, news, coverage, all the up-to-date stuff going on in tabletop world.
Exactly. But other than that, what we really want you to do is have a lovely day.
Yeah.
Bye!